Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're back with Rob and Tracy at the O Orlando.
Yep.
Weekly roundup of news this week. It's been a big week.
It has. Massive week.
Massive week roundup of news and things. So if you're still going to Orlando, to Florida this year, lucky you for a start off. But also we've just been watching furiously all the blogs and vlogs and what have you this week, just to get a feel of what Walt Disney World have done really.
Yeah.
So we
and
had,
Universal as well.
Universal did it a few weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Disney reopened Magic Kingdom and
Animal Kingdom
on last Saturday.
Yes.
And then on Wednesday, I think Epcot and
Hollywood
Studios opened.
Yep.
So everybody's been waiting to see how that would go, I guess, with the new park booking system and everything. I know there's been a lot of negativity about annual pass holders not getting the days and all of that, but we're not going to focus on any of that because we're just going to go ahead with what Walt Disney World have done to keep you safe, and Universal as well. And
because it is actually, I've been reading online today while I've been prepping for this. There's one of the governors again have put out there that it is possibly safer in Walt Disney World or Universal Studios at the moment than anywhere else in Florida, because the amount of cleaning that goes on, the amount of prep that goes on, the amount of measures before you actually get into the park. They're very actual proactive instead of being reactive like everywhere else. They're very proactive and they're on it, so it's very reassuring actually that they places that they are doing that. So
it seems to us from everything we've seen that they're doing a pretty decent job given the circumstances. Definitely capacity is very, very limited.
He's never seen such a few people. Main Street empty.
Cracking photos down Main Street that were taking and videos, but there's just no, you can just literally see the castle rather than generally.
And at one point there was more ducks walking around than people.
The theme park ducks.
Yeah.
Loads going on really. So masks is a big thing. You've got to wear masks.
Yep.
If you're travelling from anywhere, you've got to wear masks on the plane as a starting going.
In the airports,
definitely
on the planes.
In the airports as well. Presumably on the transportation to get you where you're going, because it's public.
Any public space.
Yeah, and any public space. So parks, all of the parks, outdoors, whatever, you've got to wear masks everywhere in Florida at the moment. So you'll have to get used to those in the heat. Yeah,
I mean it's been bad enough just trying them here, hasn't it? I've been wearing mine. I thought I'll put it on for 20 minutes walking around the house, and I'm like, oh man,
it's pretty warm.
Yeah.
So I can imagine how it is in Florida and Orlando
with the humidity.
Now. But you've got to wear them, so you have to get used to them. In particular, Walt Disney World have said specifically as well they're not going to accept the neck gaiter ones, the kind of hood ones that go over and cover you. Yeah, they're not happy with those. So you can wear those in Universal, and I think maybe SeaWorld.
I think, yeah. Busch Gardens. That's the same sort of company, isn't it?
But definitely not Walt Disney World. No. You have to have the ones that either loop around the back of your head or loop over your ears, so your neck can't be all covered up. So that's your first thing.
I can't really see the difference in it though, to be fair, between a mask and a neck gaiter. I don't really. I thought as long as it's a face covering over the nose and mouth, that would be good enough.
Well,
but
I don't know why they've gone for it. Maybe they think they slip down more easily if they're not hooked over your ears. I don't know. But anyway, they're not going for it.
No,
so.
and now the one big thing I've been reading today is Disney are cracking down on people. The way people are trying to sneak around the mask situation is they're walking about either drinking water or whatever, or having a snack. But Disney has said now, if you are drinking or eating or doing anything, you must stop, make sure you're socially distant, and then you're allowed to take your mask off to have a drink or a snack, and then you must put it back on straight away. You can't walk around with it round your neck and having a swig of pop,
because you're too close to people, I'm guessing. So masks are a big thing, definitely. Temperature checks also to get in Disney Springs, to get in any Disney parks, to get in Universal. So it kind of looks all very efficient, to be honest, from what we've seen.
I mean, let's just know what I mean. The queue, you see the queues, and people are just walking in. It's literally walking, beep,
and
you're gone.
out.
You're gone.
So-
there's no lag of people.
No, and
No,
also
other people.
one of the concerns we had if we were actually still going was that we might just be hot generally, having walked across the car park.
Yeah, because
it might be warm.
that's the other thing at Disney now. There's none of those little trams running at the moment that takes you from the car park to the front of the parks, or like
Yeah,
the Magic Kingdom's the big one. You go from the
You've got
car
to walk,
park to the
basically.
ticket and transportation
Yeah.
hub, and it's a damn good walk.
it can be a walk if you
Yeah.
if you're far back.
Yeah.
So definitely temperature check when you go in, and if you are too warm, they're kind of allowing for the fact that it's the Florida sun. You may just have,
Yeah.
pulled that along a car park, and so they are letting you go and sit for a second, have some cooler water, have a fan on you, have a glass of water, and then they'll try you again. So if it is just a temperature fluctuation because you're warm,
Yeah.
it'll settle down by
But
then.
I think I've seen like Tim Tracker's done it as well. He went for a walk around Disney Springs in the middle of the day for 2 hours, and he walked all around what's the name of the DVCs? It's Saratoga Springs.
Yes,
He walked all around Saratoga Springs and all the way back, and it was a red hot day, 90 something, 94, 95 I think it was. And when he went back into Disney Springs, he had to redo the temperature check, and he aced it. He went, boop, done, fine.
It hadn't fluctuated much from the one first thing, so
No. But I think it depends on your general health and your age as
Yeah.
well, because some people do
yeah.
run hotter than normal.
Yeah,
You know.
But basically, if you're running a temperature that's matching to a fever, then not only will you not get it, but any of the
And
party
no.
you're travelling with won't either. So that's definitely something to think about. So parking at the theme parks, I think they're doing that thing where they're parking every other row. So when you come in, you park one, and then they leave the next row, and then do the next one. So
Yeah.
you can all get out of your vehicles
Yeah,
by not being too close.
Yeah, park
When
a
those
space,
are
measure
full,
space, park a space, and when all that row's full,
they go
then
and fill the
row up.
gaps in, so that there's no sort of complete gangs of people, because it's
No.
normally you're all trying to get out your car at the same time. You're
Yes.
waiting to open doors and all sorts, aren't
And
you?
you get people taking bags out and they open
Yeah.
a minivan and there's like 30 kids piling out, and you're there trying to get the
Get out
door,
the
you're
door.
smiling, doing that. Come on, you stupid people. But yeah, it looks like they're on top. I mean, the actual planning
Seems pretty good.
that's gone into it. I mean, some of the stuff we've seen, the way they've done the social distancing, and in the queues with the switchbacks and everything, it's really good, really
Got lots
good.
of certainly Walt Disney World have done a lot of plexiglass,
Yeah.
haven't they, in between? So where queues go back and forth. And,
Switchbacks, I think they call them now.
Yeah, they put plexiglass in between, so you don't feel too. It doesn't look too claustrophobic
No.
because it's clear.
Clear,
But obviously you've got that screen in between you and the people coming back the opposite way, so that looks pretty good. And then some of the queues, they've looked like they're quite long, but it's because they're spaced out, really, not because they're long. Certainly the queue times at the moment in Walt Disney World are
nuts. I mean, like,
lower than you've ever seen.
We watched Molly last night from All Ears on in Epcot, Frozen Ride, and it said 30 minutes, and the queue was out the ride, down the front, and then down the side of the building, going towards wherever. And it was like, oh, that's a massive queue, but 25 minutes, she was on the ride.
Yeah, she was on and off almost.
You don't get the pre-show, you don't get nothing. There's not much of a pre-show there, really,
well,
but you got like it's an interactive thing as you go through the queue, isn't it, with the guy in the sauna.
That still happens though.
Yeah, still get that. But it's just like, it was like a people eater, like bum, 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 bum. I mean, it was just, that was frightening how empty it was.
Most of the queue times, because that was the other thing about the booking your park day, obviously the loss of fast passes and you having to book your actual day in a park.
Yeah.
But two things about that. Firstly, it does seem at the moment that you definitely don't need your fast passes, because there was nothing really there was so long a queue that you wouldn't wait for.
What was that one? Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? It was like 15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. And Slinky Dog, I think that was posted at 45 minutes, but actually it was way less than that.
Yeah.
And we've never been there when it's been less than an hour for Slinky Dog.
Yeah,
even.
minimum.
Yeah, minimum. So you definitely don't need your fast passage, so that's a good thing. And the park, although you're not allowed to park hop because you book your day in a park, you're not allowed to park hop, but you are allowed to leave the same park and go back into the same park that day. So if you booked a whole day in a park and you're thinking middle of the day, it's too hot, had enough, go back to your hotel, dip in the pool, you can go back in later. We've checked that out and that seems to be
it's quite good
possible, so that's good. Then
because there's time with like getting into the parks as well, and because like with the when you get the especially the Magic Kingdom one, because you either go monorail, the boat, the ferry boat.
Very boat.
There's markers on the floor. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you direct you to number 3, for example, like we said in the blog, that means you're on the third boat or third monorail
Yeah.
into the park. So they
So
keep
you've got
everybody,
another-
so they know that X amount of people will fill
Yeah.
a monorail.
Because
or
obviously
a
they're not,
boat.
because they're not filling them,
Yeah,
obviously.
not filling up to it. Yeah,
Um,
it looks like one party per car, doesn't it?
Yeah,
monorail.
it does look like that as well, yeah.
But they are also putting on a load of buses to the Magic
Yes.
Kingdom, aren't they? And everybody's saying there, we've been watching
That's-
like Rich Flicks, Ear to Ear, Molly, and Tim Track have all said, looks like the bus is the fastest way to get to the
Yeah,
Magic.
it is.
You don't get the magic, you don't get the view across the lake going in or driving through the contemporaries you would on the motorway. And the motorway? Monorail even, we'll keep that one in on the monorail. But if it's just pure speed you want to get in, you can
Just try
walk
to get in
on the
the
bus in,
Yeah.
which is what you want to do really, don't you? You know, it's
That's
nice to
so
see
nice,
everything,
good.
but at the end of the day you just want to get in.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
The character cavalcade seemed to have gone down a storm. Everybody was a bit anxious about the whole. There's no parades, no fireworks and stuff, and no shows still at the moment. No indoor shows
No.
or fireworks shows. So that may have put a few people off. But the character cavalcades that we've seen this week have been amazing. Just totally impromptu, but you hear the music
Yeah.
change. So I think in Magic Kingdom you've got them on floats, but they're just one float rather than a whole
Yeah.
row in the Parade. You've got one float. So the Princess Cavalcade,
Excuse me.
bless you,
Ah,
the Princess Cavalcade comes
hay fever,
through,
not corona.
then there's the Goofy and Gang one,
Yeah.
isn't there? And there's a Mickey and Minnie one.
Mickey
I
Minnie
think.
one, yeah.
I know that there's been some fun with Gaston on his giant horse.
The biggest horse in the
Massive
world.
horse.
I mean, this guy's a big guy, but this horse is
Yeah.
how many hands? It's
But
massive.
they are interacting with you, so they are speaking to you, which
Yeah.
is good. The Animal Kingdom characters seem to be on boats in the lake, so
Yeah, go around.
you're not as close to them. But I think it's quite a nice sight to see. We saw like a few Pocahontas
Yeah.
and things going past, and so that looked quite nice. Hollywood Studios,
It's
they
the
are
car
in
cavalcade.
cars. Yeah, they're
All
in
the
their
cars
own-
are themed as well, yeah.
fabulous. They look really
Yeah,
fun.
they're really good, they do.
So they're quite groovy. And then Epcot, they had, we saw Anna and Elsa, like a horse-drawn carriage.
All the
thing.
princesses are in a carriage,
The
aren't they?
princesses were in like a tram carriage, weren't
Yeah,
they? And
being a
things. So they're
horse-drawn
doing them
carriage,
too.
But the one good thing with Epcot was Winnie the Pooh, wasn't he?
That was the
Catching
sweetest
butterflies.
thing. He was just
But-
running around on the lawn with a net.
With a net,
catching
but
butterflies.
It was quite funny because it
That's
says
sweet.
you have to social distance, but people are ganging up to
People
see
were
Winnie the Pooh.
congregating a bit.
So Winnie the Pooh was moving from side to side to spread people out.
Running along the fence.
But all they were doing was following Winnie the Pooh in a block, and I'm like, oh, you got no chance really, have you?
So that's the.
But it was lovely, and they had Joy from that Inside Out as well, skipping round in pure joy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen that film, but we know who Joy is. So
I
she's
know
the
that
green
she's
one, isn't she?
Joy,
Yeah,
but I don't really
yeah,
know the film.
it's one of them.
Anyway, but so there's been, there's lots of character space. There's some quite nice, fun and impromptu stuff, which seems to be fitting the bill. And we also noticed this week that the character dining's back at the Garden Grill,
Yeah.
which was where we were booked to go.
I know, I'm disappointed about that.
I know. But you can't. They're still the characters are still can't come up to your table, can't sign autographs, you can't put your arms around them and things and have your photo taken. But they did seem a lot closer than the ones in Topolino's
Yeah.
Terrace, I would say.
Yeah, Topolino's telling you sat at your table having your
Sort of
meal, and they sort of
get through.
introduce you and dance through, and they stand about 10 foot away and wave
Yeah.
and do a little bit of interaction with you. But at least with the Garden Grill, because it's like two circles and you sit sort of like two rows of things back to back, everybody sits in the outside of the Garden Grill and the characters are all in the inside, so
Yeah.
they lean over and wave
They were
at you
leaning
and say
over,
hello,
they seemed a
and
lot closer, and the selfies and that people were taking
Yeah.
looked a lot better. So that's a good thing. So out of the obviously we'd pick the Garden Grill anyway, I think generally.
Yeah.
But if
But
you
all you care to enjoy.
yeah, but if you're thinking about, I think character dining at the moment, the Garden Grill one did seem a little bit closer, and of course it's Mickey as well.
Yeah.
And Pluto and Chip and Dale, they're always good for a laugh.
Yeah, but like with Topolino's, they were saying it's $65,
Yeah.
and there's 3 people we've watched do it now, and the 3 people like E2E's and people like that, and Molly and somebody else did it as well. I can't think of the other one was. They've all said it's nice food, but it's not. It's the atmosphere you're paying for. You're paying to interact with the characters, to have a hug, to stand there, to take autographs, and
Yeah.
to interact with them. If you're just sat there and they're walking past waving, saying waving in the hair and buongiorno and all that, it's not $65. It's not $65 worth of enjoyment, is it? Yeah, at least with the Garden Grill, you're there. You can like talk to Mickey. Yeah, Mickey's leaning out of the way.
They did interact in there a bit, and so I think that's probably good. I was going to say Chip and Dale. I forgot about them. And they were dressed in their dinosaur outfits, weren't they? On the Animal Kingdom boats. They're quite cute. I like them in their dino outfits. So they were on the boats in Animal Kingdom. So from what we've seen, actually, they seem to have it under control. The crowd levels were low. I don't know how many people are in, what the capacity is, because they'll never release those numbers to you. So you don't know how many they're expecting or allowing in compared to how many have actually gone in. So you won't know that. We'll never know that. But certainly from looking at it, it looked like you could quite happily socially distance and keep yourself safe.
I mean, like some of the queues. I mean, like for like in Hollywood Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster, they missed the pre-show out when you're in the recording studio, and you're straight through, aren't you? I mean, I've never seen it so empty.
No.
You know, the main street going through and everything like that. You know, you just look at it, you're just like, oh my god, the queue started. This is 45 minutes or an hour. We was watching the other night, 55 minutes I think it was. But there's now, like I said, there's now fast pass people, because it's the fast passes that slow the queue down, because they're pushing the fast pass people in front.
A big chunk in front, don't they?
You know, you're watching that and you just think that's going to be the future, that isn't it? That.
Like, well, I mean, at the moment, while the crowd controlling, I think keeps working, and definitely I wouldn't worry if you don't get a fast pass at the moment. I certainly wouldn't worry.
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
So it looks all good from our point of view, from what we've seen. Looks fun, looks like...
I mean, there's a few things going on as well, isn't there? There's like rumours they're not going to do the 50th anniversary celebrations next year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They're like cutting down on like the big night. There's going to be a massive nighttime parade and something else. And from what I've been reading about, doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's the regeneration spaceship Earth. That's not happening now, is it?
Yeah, we know that's not happening. That's on hold, but I'm quite pleased about that, to be honest with you, because I was really upset that we might not get to go on that.
Because those changes from the history of communication to the history of storytelling, weren't they? I believe.
Apparently,
something like that. I mean, with Spaceship Earth as well now, if you've been on that, when you get to the top, when you come off it, there's all like interaction stuff, and you can like go on there and like email yourself your picture you've had taken, and you create a little mini cartoon. You know, none of that's happening obviously, because you've got all touch screens and everything everywhere. So but that's not happening. Nor is the Mary Poppins ride
attraction or
in the UK. Attraction, it's a bit of a secret.
That
really
seems to have gone by the wayside at the moment. So I suppose it'll be a lower key celebration maybe.
And the central part as well, there's going to do that raised viewing platform, weren't they? That two-storey.
Yes, that's not happening for the moment, is it?
It's been put on hold,
So, but you can understand why that's the case, really. This lower key thing, and also this year as well at the moment, because presumably because they've got lower numbers going, and to maximise the use of it, the food and wine festivals on. Bit of lemon. The food and wine festivals on now in a much smaller scale. You can't. I don't think there's as many stores as there normally is.
No, perhaps, but they sort of combined it with the flower and garden and the food and wine.
Because that normally is like September time, is it?
Yeah, when we go normally September
time. But, so it's on at the moment. So that's another little joy. You can go and.
Now that food and wine, flower and garden and food and wine combined sort of thing. That's going on for a good few months, isn't it? That. But I mean, we were saying the other day about it. I talk to people at work, me and Trace talk, and I talk to people on Twitter and whatever, different people. You've got to wonder just how much money Universal and Walt Disney have lost on like merchandise, like Walt Disney especially, because the amount of stuff people buy for these festivals. How much stuff they've had pre-made, ready.
Yeah, with the food and wine
festival. Food and wine festival.
And the flower and garden, which didn't really happen, did it? It started and then it was shut.
It was open and boom, it was like 2 weeks, wasn't it?
It wasn't long.
Done, you've got to wonder, I mean, okay, it's unprecedented and everything else, but how much money they must have been losing. That's why everything's been put on hold.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because as you go into Epcot, the central part, as you go in the central hub where Starbucks and everything was, that's virtually 2/3 demolished, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So you don't know what's going to go on there yet, because that's all up in the air, isn't it? Because they're changing stuff, or they're just going to finish knocking it down. One of the rumours is they're just going to like make it into a big garden
for
now, till they can get ready again and then start rebuilding and doing things, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a
big week.
Big
Parks
week,
around. Universal successfully opened a few weeks ago. They seem to have got it under control,
Yeah.
and everybody we've seen there seems pretty happy with it. And then this week, I would say Walt Disney World's opening's been a success,
Yeah.
from what I can see. So I think that
a lot of people were like worried about it, you know, the second spike. But like you say, I mean, everything. I mean, the big spike that we saw was mainly due to the bars, by all accounts, because the bars were trying to crowbar more people in than they should have done. Because when you go and sit down, well, that was the rumour. That was what was inferred about it. So you don't know, but it's. I mean, they've got to get a handle on it, and hopefully, in the next few coming months, we can knock it down, because starting next Friday in the UK, we've got to start wearing masks in shops, haven't we? And whatever now. So I'm looking forward to that.
Too late.
Yeah, but
okay.
yeah, it's one of these, isn't it? You know, you just got to do what you got to do. I mean, if it means we can tamp this down even more and quench the embers, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
And I think, I mean, if you are going to Walt Disney World, we would say go. If we had the chance to go, we would still go. We are thinking that we would like the full experience, so we're happy to wait till next year. But we wouldn't have any worries about going, I don't think.
Yeah, no. I mean, I always asked you the day. Somebody said to me, if somebody came to you now, Virgin rang you up and said, "Listen, we are now flying on the day you were supposed to go. Would you go?" And I was like,
yes,
yeah. I know it wouldn't be the same holiday, but you'd still go. You'd still get the magic. You'd still have the experience. I mean, you just have to tailor your expectations to.
I think if I was going for the first time, though, I wouldn't go.
No, if it's your first time.
Somebody for the first time, or if you've got like a special celebration, you know, a really big birthday or a honeymoon or something like that, I think I maybe wouldn't then, because you're not getting the full experience. But from what we've seen, they've done a really cracking job on keeping the magic, keeping it going. Certainly I've definitely been welling up a few times when I've seen people walking in, and it was actually the cast members with their Mickey gloves on, standing down Main Street, waving to people and saying "Welcome home." Yeah,
I'm not crying. You're crying. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm terrible. I cry when the Andrex puppy gets stuck. I'm terrible. I start roaring for such a like a rough-looking guy sort of thing, as people call me. I'm such a big wetter. I'm terrible. Absolutely terrible. But when they say "Welcome home," I mean, watched people have gone in there for the first time on vlogs, and then they show you the castle. We've all sat there. We've been like, the castle. So
the magic's still there. It hasn't gone in the intervening period. It hasn't gone. It's still there. So we would say go and be safe, and they've put everything in place for you. So if you're not safe, I would say it's your own fault, because you've got to take a little bit of responsibility.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can see a crowd, don't go in there. If a shop looks busy, move away. If, you've got to take it. The same with everywhere.
And then we've seen people on rides, so they've gone to go on a ride, and there's been like a bit of a group of people messing about, and they've said, "Look, I'm not happy. Can I go on the next ride?" They've been, "Yep, fine. You wait there. We'll send this lot through. You're done. Happy days." Sorted.
We've seen them taking quite, strong measures to make sure that everything's safe. So it looks pretty good.
We've been watching like where they're cleaning the rides. We thought they were just wiping the rides, but they're actually spraying them. When I was garden sprayers, aren't they? They've got that spraying it, and they send the car or the boat around, dry it, bring it back. I mean, it's brilliant. And then it's fantastic, to be fair. Really good. And anything we would say, if you are going, I mean, one of these little fly there. The only thing you say is it's a hot day anyway in the parks, and it's a long day in the park. So you always say, have a walk around, then sit down, find somewhere cool, have an ice cream, have a Mickey bar, get a glass of Coke or whatever is your poison, sit down, chill out. It just means now, with wearing the masks, you've got to plan your breaks a bit better. So don't try and go 4 hours and rush around and do everything, because if you're going to be wearing that mask in that heat for 4 hours, you're going to get ratty.
Yeah. So make use of they're called the U-Rest zones in Universal Studios, and they're called the relaxation stations in Disney World. Little places where you can go, you're socially distanced, you take your mask off, relax, sit, have a cool drink, And
there's a lot of the stands now, because you used to be able to get like cups of ice water in the restaurants, because now you can't go in the restaurant until you prove you've got a mobile order.
Yeah.
number on there, so you say like, 'cause you can't just wander in there. There's no standby queues. I think there's one or two.
There
but
are one or two,
not
but
many.
there's not many. You have to pre-order.
But you can still go to places and say, "May I have a glass of Oyster water?" And they'll give you. They used to give you a little cup. Now they give you quite a big cup of like,
Yeah, you can
the
still
paper
get
cups of water.
You
So
can still get them.
still get that. Get a glass of water down. You get
Get your mask off.
your mask off and chill out
Have
for
a
20
moment.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a long day anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a long day.
It's good. They've done a good job. So that's pretty much rounded it up for this
Yeah.
week. So next week will be a bit strange for us because
Yeah.
we should have
Should have been flying.
flying.
This week I should have been buying my new pairs of pants to put in the case and my new espadrilles and getting my new glasses ready from SunGuard and cleaning the lenses, but now it's like, yeah, I'm working, it's work, we're still building 600 engines a day and
we're not going to
we're
Florida
not going
on
to
Saturday.
Florida. So Thursday, Friday, all I'll say to anybody at work, if you know me, don't upset me.
So, but anyway, so that's it really. We are going somewhere next week and
Yeah.
also the week after in lieu of going to
Yeah.
Orlando. So we've got plans, we're busy, so it's all good. So if you're in Orlando this week, have a lovely time.
Yes, have a nice time. Send us a card.